Hi, I'm Dr. Kim Logan-Nowlin.
And I'm Arthur Nolan.
Welcome to Making It Work. Our topic today, children of incarcerated parents. A very serious topic, a topic that's hitting home more and more every day. Arthur, I want to share some statistics with you.
Okay.
In the United States in 1999, about 2% of our minors, more than 1.5 million children, had a parent in state or federal prison. 10% of all minor children, 7.3 million children have a parent in prison, jail, or on probation, or on parole.
Man.
The source, the National Center for Children and Families in Washington, D.C., October 31st, 2002. Give me some feedback on that.
It's amazing. And at this point, I could see that it would even get greater. We're dealing in some real difficult economic times, and people are willing to take risk their freedom, and the next thing you know, we're talking about incarceration.
But this also, as you said, it has impacted financial stability, relationship with their children,
Absolutely.
the children's social skills, and keeping their children balanced. Well, today on our program, we have two special guests, Leslie and Maya Hightower. Welcome to Making It Work.
Thank you.
How you doing?
Fine.
Good.
Great.
Well, we
great.
know over the last few years you've been experiencing some difficulty. Why don't you tell us your story?
Well, my husband went to federal prison because of selling drugs, and it just put a strain on me because I had to do everything by myself. But luckily I have family and friends to help me financially and spiritually. And it was kind of difficult at first dealing with my daughter because she was really going through some hard times, and I felt, you know, maybe she needed to talk to a counselor. So I did that, and it helped her. And then we got along, a lot better.
Okay. How long did she see a therapist?
It was less than a year, just a little while to get her acclimated to, you know, the situation.
How old was she then?
9.
She was 9 years old.
Maya, how did you feel, going to a therapist to talk about some of the things that you were experiencing?
Well, I felt sort of, scared or, just a little weird or awkward. But it helped. It did.
Okay.
Can you tell me, what was some of the things that you were dealing with, some of the problems that you were encountering?
Basically just a little hurt.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
Well, I can understand that, being hurt, How did you feel and when you were told that your father was going to be arrested?
Well, I wasn't really told. I was basically, there. So it was deep.
It was deep. So you were there when they arrested your father.
Yes.
That's a lot for a little girl to experience. Let me ask you, how often do you talk to your father?
I usually talk to him every Sabbath, or if I don't talk to him then, probably twice a month.
Twice a month. Was there ever a period when you did not talk to your father?
What do you mean didn't talk to him?
When he was arrested, was there ever a period that you never talked to him? Or even after he got arrested and he was sentenced, you continued the communication with your father? That's beautiful.
Leslie, you said one thing about transition. And I'm using the word transition. At one point, you were living a lifestyle that was comfortable for you. And then all of a sudden, that lifestyle was interrupted. Right. How did that impact you?
It was it was hard, but you know, I always knew that material things were not really that important when you're dealing with family. Family is more important. So as long as I had, you know, my daughter and make sure she was okay, I was fine.
That brings up another question. If you felt that the material things were not that important to you, and then your husband felt that it was very important to you, what kind of conflict was that having within the household?
It was a conflict because I would say, you know, nothing's more important than you being home with the family. So he felt opposite, so things happen.
Absolutely. Go ahead.
Okay, Leslie, what as a mother did you do to try to give support? Because you saw the anger, you saw her disappointed, and I'm sure she was going through some changes. What type of structure did you have to do when you talk about transition? What did you do to help pull her back to you?
I'll spend time with her and you know, make sure she was surrounded by positive things.
Okay, all right. I know church is a great influence in your relationship, and I always would say to Maya, you know, it was so good to see a smile on her face. Even when all this was happening, I would always see a smile, even your continence. What was the formula for that?
The Lord. The Lord has really helped me through a lot of stuff, so I give the honor and glory to him.
That's a good point, because you both, you and your husband, were raised in the church. And then all of a sudden something happened and the split came. Did you have any idea, or did you sense anything that was causing this diversity between the both of you?
I know the devil is busy, and you know, he really cares about the family, so he started to do things to try to keep, I guess, the lifestyle that he wanted. So that's what happened.
So bringing it back to the relationship with you and your husband and the marriage, you were in a marriage. How long have you been married?
I can't remember the exact year now, but we got married in 92.
92. So being in a situation where you have a relationship and then it begins to deviate, you know, how have you dealt with your own self as a woman, being married, your husband's incarcerated, and I know at times you're lonely, you need that relationship. How have you coped with that?
Stay busy and you know, focus on the Lord, and I'm in school, so that helps to take up the extra time that I have on my hands.
Now you're in school, what are you studying?
Surgical technology.
Okay, why that field?
Should give me a sense of stability and financial stability.
And that's what you need for your daughter, you and your daughter.
Maya, I'm thinking, you know, Dad is not in the home. You can't touch him. You can't go to the store with him, or he can't wrestle with you and all that. Is that hard for you to deal with at times?
At times it is hard, but then you just gotta keep thinking positive and think that he will be home soon, and keep praying about it.
Okay.
And when is his date of release?
March or 6 months after that.
Of 2012?
2012.
Okay. You know, Maya, did your grades slip? Did your grades fall?
I'm not sure. Did my grades fall?
During this time?
Not really.
So grades stayed well. Did you and Mom, did Mom have to, you know, Maya, don't do this, Maya, stop this, Maya? Did you try to use this as a excuse to be, you know, disobedient?
It might have been pretty rough near the beginning, but calm down.
You came to your senses? All right, that's a good thing, to come to your senses, right? All right.
Can you give me some idea of probably what it would be one of the career fields that you've chosen for yourself, something that you thought about being when you graduated from college or high school?
I thought about being a nurse or a sports medicine doctor.
Okay.
Okay, like your sister Megan, all right, that's great. Now, have you been to the facility where your father is to see him in person?
Yes.
Tell us about that.
Well, it's different. And You just basically check in. You gotta take off a lot to, you know, and you just walk back into they take you and go through the thing and
To the security.
security.
All right.
After you pass that, then you are walking outside, sorta, and you see the tall
Tower,
bars. And then you walk into it's a room,
Okay.
and it's a pretty big size room,
Okay.
and there's lots of chairs,
Okay.
and there's a little outside opening where you can like go outside and sit too.
All right.
Oh, so well then you have the opportunity to hug them and touch them, and it's not a glass or a partition that's separating you. You know, you get a chance to get that good hug in before you leave and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's excellent.
What do you all talk about? Can you share that with us? What do you talk about?
We talk about school and life at home, and we talk about when he comes back.
Okay.
What are some of the things that he wants to do for you when he comes back?
You know, the basics, spending time, and the ropes what he has to do before he can, you know, stabilize again.
Has he apologized to you? Did he say he was sorry or anything? Okay. And how did that make you feel?
It makes you feel. It helps. It helps comfort.
Very good. Very good.
You know, Maya, everything in life, and Leslie, and I've learned that, and with Arthur and our own family, even with God, we have choices. It comes down to the right choices or the wrong choices. And you have to look at your lives today as what you have to do to make right choices. What would you say to a mother or a parent going through this? Because we also have women who are incarcerated. What would you say to someone? This has been 4 years. You were 9 years old. Now you're 13, Maya?
Yeah.
It's been 4 years. What would you say to those, our viewers today? What would you say?
To always have faith and to trust in the Lord, and don't get angry, and just realize that everyone is just a step away from doing something that they might regret. So just to stay focused on the Lord.
Focus on the Lord. Maya?
I say hang in there because it can be rough, but just keep praying about it, and God will work things out.
Maya, were your peers supportive to you when they found out that your father was incarcerated, or did you talk about it with any of your peers?
Yes, I've talked to it with a few friends, and some of my friends are in the same situation. So, yeah, they're supportive, and the school that I go to, Peterson Warren Academy, someone there, my friend's father, was incarcerated too.
Is that right?
So he talked to me too.
And he's released
Excellent.
now, and he's talked to you. That's wonderful.
Leslie, were you angry?
Oh, yes, a little bit. Yeah, I was angry.
How did you get over that?
Just knowing that I'm not perfect, and everybody, you know, makes mistakes, and just keep having the faith.
That sounds too easy.
I mean, last thing you want to hit a punching bag? Did you want to hit somebody? I mean, your whole life has changed now, and we had the opportunity to visit your home, but one thing I can say about you, you would always say, Kim, they're just things. You were never attached to those things. And I think that is so important, because you have people who are so attached to their homes and cars and lifestyle.
Yeah. I mean, and I understand that, you know, you're right. There are people who are attached to things.
But Leslie was never attached.
She never gave us that impression.
But come on, come on.
I mean,
I
I was angry, but I just, you know, maybe I was too soft.
Did
I
you
don't know.
cry? Did you cry? Did you find moments where you just couldn't
I
hold
was,
it
you know, I
together?
was more sad for my girls and him than really me, myself.
You didn't have time.
How did you get to that point, though? I mean, where you were more sad for the girls and, you know, and for him, you know. But how did you get to that point? Well, I mean, what was going on? I understand that you said earlier it was faith that kept you going through. How did you get to the point where you just relinquish those feelings? I mean, because like Kim was saying, it seemed like you wanted to give him a knuckle sandwich or something.
He said he was sorry, and, you know, I just couldn't condemn him because, you know, I had to stand before the Lord too. So
That's right.
I just couldn't,
And it's crucial, we as families today, and how we help to make it work. We have to have a forgiving heart. We have to recognize that we too are sinners saved by grace, and that we must have forgiveness because we make mistakes. I like the one thing about Maya, and again, the smile, but her attitude. Attitude is everything. How you approached it, when you went to see your father, if you walked in there angry, you would be angry, right? But you didn't. You came in, I know you had to be a little nervous. Were you nervous?
I was a little nervous, but...
The first time? How many times have you been to see him?
Probably 3.
3 times? All right. So you have support from your grandparents, your mom's parents, and you recently lost your grandfather. Again, our deepest condolences of losing, your father. A rock in the church, a pillar in the church. But Brother Chester Wilhite. But at the same time, being able to look at how you're going to keep your family together. Because you moved from your home back in with your parents. All right? Yeah. Tell us about that.
That was difficult, but it was, I was glad that I actually moved back, because then I could spend some more time with my father before he passed. So, things work out for a reason.
Yes, it does. And you were there with your father.
Yeah, it was difficult. I can imagine, because once again, we're talking about that transition, and now you're looking at moving your life to a different plane. So I have to ask this question, is there any possibility of reconciling?
No.
Okay.
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 I mean, that was my initial, I guess, hope, but no.
Okay. And has he talked to you, or,
Oh, we talk.
Okay.
Okay. Have you gone to see him, Leslie?
No.
No.
Would that be hard for you to do?
No, it wouldn't be hard.
Okay. But this is not about you right now. It's about your daughter and her relationship. I want to just share something else with you, and I think it'd be very important for you to know this too, Maya. Since 1997, the frequency of contact between children and their parents in federal prison has dropped. Monthly contact has decreased by 23%. So I'm so happy to hear that you have gone to see your father, and that is by the Research and Advocacy for Reform, February 2009. Statistically, it has dropped. Children are no longer in contact with their parents. They have cut them off.
Excuse me for interrupting. Another aspect has to be involved with that. I hear what you're saying in regards to the statistics, but as I work with this population, I've also recognized that a lot of the fathers that may be in a particular area where their children or families were are sent to long distances away from the family. We're talking about people that may go to Virginia or Kansas City, Fort Leavenworth, or different areas, which can be taxing on the family and difficult for them to make that contact. So that's one of the reasons that I can see that drop.
Right. Well, we have to take in all the considerations. I want to also say having an incarcerated parent often results in school behavior. But Maya, you said that your performances have been good, as well as social contact, stigma, and shame. Is there any shame or guilt that you're feeling?
Probably, I'd still probably say at the beginning.
At the beginning. Okay.
That's really good too, because also in some of the research that I've looked at, it indicated that a lot of the children, in their opportunity to show displeasure in what occurred, what they would do is not perform in school. Right. They will rebel. Right. And that's a concern, because sometimes what happens is the children will follow a path of rebellion, and that will cause them to look at things in a real negative way. Yes. But what's really important is that you saw some behavior and you addressed that behavior.
Oh, most definitely. And then with you now in your teen years, And we don't want you looking for love in all the wrong places. They said daughters love their fathers. Daughters need their fathers. They need their parents. So mom is serving two roles. Your father is incarcerated, but he's not deceased. And he's not dead in your life. But as you develop and as you grow, I want to encourage you, Maya, to continue to focus on what God needs you to do and not look for any way to escape what is around you or try to manipulate your situation, but address your life in an honest and godly manner and continue to talk to your mom. Do you have a good relationship with your mother? You know, and I see how close you are.
What do you expect? Her mama sitting right next to you.
I know what she's gonna say, but I know for a fact that you have a good relationship with your mom and you love your mother. You know, you love your father.
Yes.
Okay, you tell him that when you talk to him. Okay, are you ever at a loss of words what to say to him when you see him or talk to him on the phone?
Sometimes.
Yeah, I think that's legitimate.
You know, why do you think that is that you are lost for words?
Just because, you know, it's not personal. I'm not always like a phone person. So.
That's a good point. You really impressed me because you seem to be handling this whole situation really, really well. And I have to really, really encourage you to continue to look to a real bright future. I like the way you communicate. You have real good, positive communication skills. And I don't ever see you where you are lost for words. So it's kind of hard for me to really believe that sometimes you don't have something to say on the telephone. You know?
And Maya, let me ask you, what do you and your mom do together? What kind of things do you all share together?
We talk. And, you know, we can go places together.
Okay, you both play basketball, you know, and you bowl. And do you play tennis? Do you like tennis? I always bring up tennis. I love tennis. Every show I talk about tennis. I love getting into tennis this summer.
I haven't seen Kim play tennis in
years. He's at the golf course.
When's the last time you played, though, Kim?
But he's at the golf on the Wii. I played it on the Wii.
When is the last time you played tennis?
On the Wii.
I play it on the Wii.
I play on the Wii all the time.
That don't count.
Why doesn't the Wii count?
I mean, because you're not on the court.
I'm on the court. Isn't that on the court? That is serious game on that Wii. But a lot of things that you share together, that is crucial to the relationship. I have another question I want to ask you. Women and young ladies are going to prison. And they say due to the fact, and this again is the Bureau of Justice Statistics in 2005, young ladies and women are going to prison because they're finding themselves getting in trouble. My father's in prison, my mother's in prison, so they're repeating the behavior because it's something, they're using it as an excuse to not function or to do well. What can you say to those individuals?
That's a good question.
You know, how to help them to stay on point. Look at you. You're not out there, you know, destroying property. Mommy is not being called to the school every 3 days. You haven't been arrested for any vandalism or problems or doing drugs and alcohol. You know, why is it, or what can you say to them to say, you know, I heard you say, stay focused, stay with God. But what's keeping you out of trouble?
Me.
That's
Mama
right.
says
That's
me.
right. That's right. You know,
Is it a desire inside of you that you want to prove statistics wrong, that you are not going to be a statistics and become like, you know, other children who end up in prison because their parents were in prison?
Yeah.
I think also you have to look at it from another perspective, which is we're talking about economic status. We're talking about community status. If someone is in that environment, then we're looking at a strong possibility that they may succumb to that type of lifestyle. Maya is not really in that environment. We're talking about Maya has a lot of support, and that's really the key to this entire situation. Maya has a strong support system with her parents, her family, her church family, her school, and she's always doing something. She's active. She's not really missing out on a lot of things.
Well, then I gotta stop you there because her father was raised in the church. Mother and father had a successful business. Nothing was deprived him, but it was a choice he made. All right, so you have to look at the fact that these are choices that are made by individuals.
Yes, but then we're talking about, once again, and I don't want to, really debate with you in regards to that.
Okay.
What I'm saying is that Maya's support system and her that support is offering her the tools that's required for her to be successful in life. And then we're talking about constant support. And once again, you had a mother who was able to recognize particular behavior and do something about it.
Well, I'm glad for mothers. They said the one that rocks the cradle rules the world. Well, listen, I think it's so important that, we're able to look at situations, look at different perspectives, be able to help our viewers understand, because again, this is not an easy topic. It's not easy, especially because we know them both so well, and we have watched this situation up close and personal. We have prayed for you. We have had the opportunity to take your daughter with us on trips, as you extended yourself to our daughter, Micah, many times.
That's my buddy. She got my back. You got my back, don't you?
So we do things where we go and we explore things. And I have never at any time, and I want you to know that, try to pin up against the wall and say to her, well, what's going on with her father? What's going on at home? Because I see her as an individual, and I respect her as an individual. And you are more than this situation. Do you realize that? You are Maya Hightower. You are more than what this experience, but it's what you bring out of this experience. That's all of us, is what we bring out of every experience.
It's what she learned from this experience.
Right.
She's learned something that she can pass on to other people.
Oh, definitely.
Whether she be a nurse, or she may even choose to move to another area like law enforcement, or be a lawyer in some particular way, a prosecuting attorney, a defense attorney, because of your experience with the prison system and the legal system. That must have been devastating, to be in the home and somebody come in and take your father out of the home in handcuffs. Was that difficult for you? Yeah.
And you never want to have that experience happen to you. Well, that's a learned lesson. Listen, we'll be right back with more information on children of incarcerated parents in a few minutes. Welcome back to Making It Work. Leslie and Maya, we want to thank you both for being our guests today, and all the information you've given. We want you to know that there's hope for your family. Don't give up, even if the relationship is unreconcilable. That's a decision only you, God, and your spouse can make. But remember, keep God first, and remember to help your children. Thank you, our viewers. I'm Dr. Kim Logan-Nowlin.
And I'm Arthur Nolan.
Let's continue to make it work. God bless.